Neck knot.
Neck knot.
Knock knock. Who's
Neck
there?
knot.
Neck knot. Neck knot. Who? Neck knot.
Stress.
Neck knot. Unk unk.
Hello and welcome to WayTooBroad, a place for friends to talk about things they're really, really ridiculously excited about. I'm Hannah, and these are my really excited co-hosts, Erin and Ben.
Hi!
Hi, Erin. Hi, Ben.
Hello.
We're excited.
Woo-hoo.
Ben, are you still by yourself out there?
Yeah, Kylie's in San Diego. She wants to move there now.
What? Why
She
can't
really
you
likes
didn't
it.
you just move to California? You don't need to move to California again.
She's got work stuff in San Diego. She's been there since Monday.
San Diego.
Bachelor.
Yeah, me and Como living
When
it up.
when does she get back?
Tomorrow.
Interspecial bachelor pad.
Wow.
Wowie, zowie.
When did she get back? I wasn't listening to your answer.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Great. Cool. There are so many times when I listen back to the podcast where I'll respond to one of you, but I wasn't listening at the time, so I won't remember the thing that you said. It's pretty embarrassing. I'm gonna work on that myself.
I totally had that thing happen again where I was listening to an episode today and I thought of a joke and I was like, dang, I wish I'd said that joke. And then I said it at the next available moment.
Yeah, that's the best thing about listening back to yourself is that you're still yourself. It's the same brain.
Yeah.
And you're like, good one, Hannah.
Yeah. Like, man, that chick is so on my level.
Yeah, we'd be such great friends. If only we knew each other.
Do you guys want to know what I'm drinking?
What are you drinking?
Please tell us what you're drinking.
What are you drinking?
I have 3 beverages.
Ooh, that's
Tonight.
my kind of gal.
Yep. One of them is water.
Nice.
It's in another glass we got from a wedding of cool people, but it's not the same as yours, Erin. Sorry.
Okay.
I have a seltzer.
Oh, water. Still water and a seltzer. That is new.
Very hydrational. And
Multi-hydrational.
multi-hydrational bachelor pad. And and is Ben still
Ben,
there?
where are you?
I had to stop Como from eating something.
Okay,
I
we
was
can
listening.
always tell.
I was muted. Yeah.
And I have a beer. It's a... Hang on. I actually just got a text from my fact checker, and I think it might be about the beer.
He's like, actually, it's a third cup of water.
Totally is. He was like, she's going to not remember the name of this beer. And so he sent me a picture of it. It's a Game of Thrones Omegang collaboration beer, which they've done a few of now. It's a series. This one is from the Royal Reserve Collection. And preempt checker, he calls himself now. It's called Queen of the Seven Kingdoms. It's a sour blonde ale blend, and it's Cersei themed.
So you drink it when you're really Cersei?
Oh no!
I haven't watched Game of Thrones, so I got them fresh.
Really?
I got those puns fresh without
Oh my God.
influence.
That's a great pun. I love that fresh pun. Okay, listen. A beer for Cersei, who reminds us that everyone who isn't us is an enemy. An exquisite blend of sour ale and Belgian-style blonde ale. It's good. Cersei's bad, but it's good. But
Cool.
she's not bad. But she's bad.
She's troubled.
She's sour and blonde.
Yeah,
Definitely.
both of those
Yeah.
are definitely true.
That's cool.
That's so good. You drink it when you're really Cersei. Who is next? Erin, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a So one of my favorite beverages to get at a bar these days is a rum old fashioned. So it's obviously an old fashioned, all the old fashioned ingredients, but it's made with a dark rum, like a dark aged rum instead of a bourbon, which is great for me because I love rum, as everybody who listens to this knows. So I made myself one, and it's okay. It's not like I get it in a bar. I need to take a cocktail class, like a mixology class, like basics.
You know what would help you? There's this
some brains.
Yeah, probably. Hashtag for real.
There's this episode of Home Movies where the coach takes a mixology class, and I think it would really help you to watch it.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
that's not what I was expecting for you to say, but I'll check it out. It's not bad. This drink isn't bad. I'm like enjoying it, but it's like when I get it at a bar, I can like with it's it's obviously really strong because it's mostly just the rum, but like when I get it at a bar, every time I've ever had one, it's like each sip I want to hold in my mouth and just taste. And this one, I'm like more getting it on the swallow. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I feel you.
Okay.
Yep, sure.
Hannah did not feel me. Ben felt me. I got 2 out of 1. 1 out of 2.
2 out of 1. That's amazing. You're like Jesus. The loaves and fishes.
Ben, what are you drinking?
Yeah.
Ice water.
I
solved a mystery just before we started recording that's only interesting to me, I think, about my ice maker.
Your ice maker?
Yeah, because I kept noticing it was making a lot of noise. Like every time it made ice, I would hear a big clunk. And then I looked in the freezer and there was ice like all over the bottom of the freezer.
Oh.
And then I like looked at the little, there's like a square, bucket thing that's supposed to catch the ice maker's making. And I noticed it was like sticking out a little bit. And I pushed it back and there was like a bunch of ice behind it. So what I think happened is that like it got loose somehow, and then the ice kept falling behind it and like pushing it forward slowly until it just missed the bucket. And then I realized that it wasn't actually fitting in its little slot, so I turned it around and it slid right in like a glove. So I think it was just in backwards this whole time we've lived here.
Oh.
You should really get a PhD in engineering.
Working on it.
Great job, Ben.
Great job, Ben. You really don't have a lot going on, do you?
Ben Brown in the case of the loud ice maker.
Ben Brown in a case of some ice in the freezer where it shouldn't be. It should really be in a different place in the freezer.
Ben Brown in the case of the misplaced ice. No, that's great. Congratulations.
We're celebrating your life victories alongside you. That sounds really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
What should we talk about first? Holy shit.
I just have a quick couple things I didn't add to your list. Ben, they're questions for Ben. It's a questions for Ben segment.
Questions for Ben, new segment.
It's a little
music.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Okay. So, not follow-up questions about the thrilling ice maker anecdotes.
Yeah, I was hoping not.
Yeah, no. I think I got everything I need there. But I was wondering how your Chetna bread came out, and I was also wondering another thing I forgot about. So I guess I wasn't wondering too
that's
hard.
right. I forgot I was making the bread last time we recorded. It was really good.
Awesome.
It looked really good. It tasted delicious. It was very spicy because the chutney, it was like a chili and garlic chutney that was in it, which was really good, but very spicy. Too spicy for Kylie. She couldn't eat that much of it, but I had it for like lunch the next day. It was nice with a little cheddar cheese on it to kind of, help with the heat.
Mm-hmm.
And the next day I made a lychee cake.
Oh,
but it didn't taste enough like lychee. It was a fine cake. Like I did a good enough job baking it, but
it was a fine cake. Did you get fresh lychees?
I got canned lychees.
Well,
and the thing
lychee
was,
isn't coming through.
The thing was, the recipe called for 14 ounces, and I used a 20-ounce can. But I realized after I made it that I'm pretty sure that 14 ounces, like, I was supposed to weigh as just the lychees, not like the can and the syrup inside, because you drain the syrup and use that too. So I probably used about half the lychee you're supposed to. I'm going to try to make it again because I really like lychee and it sounds good. So probably like maybe end of this week, I'll try and make it again.
So
I'll use like double the lychee.
Substance.
Did you do the chocolate chili cake?
No, I haven't yet. A chocolate chili. I think it was chocolate chili bread.
Bread. I
haven't yet because after I baked 2 days in a row for only 2 people, we had too many baked goods that none of us are gonna. We didn't.
Yeah,
finish.
that math checks out.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna make anything more right now. So, giving myself a week off from baking.
I have an opinion about lychee.
What is it?
Okay.
I hate the canned preserved lychees. I hate them. But when I was in China, I tried fresh lychees for the first time, and they're incredible. They have this like rose flavor to them. They're so nice. So only fresh lychee for Hannah. Very picky human.
I assume I've only ever had canned.
Probably. Did they have like a husk on them at all?
No, the only time I really have had them like straight and consistently is there's a place near us that does a lychee sangria, and it comes with an entire lychee at the bottom of your cup.
And it just looks like kind of like an eyeball.
Yeah, like a big weird raspberry.
Yeah. I think that's probably canned, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so just put that on your list, everybody, when you're hosting us.
Raspberry.
That's right.
It's white, though, on the inside.
Well, yeah, it's like a big, weird white raspberry.
Yeah, she said weird. A white raspberry would be
like
weird.
The shape is like a raspberry.
Yeah.
Am I crazy?
I disagree.
It's like raspberry with 2 openings instead of 1.
Yeah.
I feel like it's more circular than a raspberry, too.
You're more circular than a raspberry.
But it's like a weird raspberry. The way they put it,
qualifies as a weird raspberry.
They keep it. Well, when I've had it, I think they keep it like they don't cut it in half or anything, and so
it's also not bumpy like a raspberry.
Well, it's weird. That's why it's weird. I'm not saying it's exactly.
I guess since you say it's weird, I can't say anything.
We just can't quibble over Ben's definition of weird versus Erin's.
I think the shape resembles a raspberry.
Listen, Erin's coming to Massachusetts next month, and we need to talk about that.
I mean, I want you to look at this in a bowl and tell me it doesn't look like a super huge weird raspberry, like a raspberry from like. If somebody were to be like in a dream, like, here's a raspberry and it was a lychee, you would be like, well, it's like a weird, it's like a nightmare raspberry. Anyway, let's make that a Twitter poll. Can we put a list to do a Twitter poll?
Hang on. What's the question?
Do lychees, like, I want to choose a picture of a canned lychee, and I want it to be like, does this look like a big weird raspberry? Like, don't name it. Don't be like, does this do these lychee? Is it lychee? I'm going to say that. Do these lychee look like big weird raspberries? No, I want to say, does this look like a big weird raspberry? Twitter poll.
Just a yes or no Twitter poll.
Mm-hmm, that's all.
Up or down vote.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can do that.
Yeah. All right, sorry. You were trying so hard to change the subject.
I just want to tell everybody that Erin and I made a decision about B. Steadwell, and the decision is that we're going.
Can I just tell the story real quick? Because it's actually really perfect.
Yes.
So, Hannah, yes! So, Hannah and I, as you know, because we recorded a whole bit about it last week, we're laboring over this decision because it wasn't just like the money, for me to like fly up, but it was like gonna be $200 to fly to Boston on a Tuesday, but Hannah would have to work, and then Boston is what, like
an hour and a half.
An hour and a half. Work. So it's like 40 minutes from your house in a different direction from your work.
Right.
I would have to. So what? She would come and pick me up, or her and Ian, or Ian would have to come like pick me up Tuesday, and then we would like go back to her house, and then go into town on Wednesday, and then go back. And then somebody would have to take me again to fly out on Thursday. It was just going to be a big like cluster cuss, and so. That was the only thing. It was really, for me, it was the logistics of like, this doesn't sound practical. I don't want to get an Airbnb because I just like don't want to do that because I can just like sleep on your freaking couch. But then I made Hannah call me on the phone and I forced her into
It took some work.
She kind of like low key avoided it for as long as she could.
That's my approach to every single phone call in my life. You're not special.
I know. I wasn't saying I was special. I knew it was the phone call. It wasn't me. Which is funny because we like talk electronically every single.
Yeah, Erin was like, just pretend we're recording.
Did that help you?
Yeah.
There should be a therapist. So Hannah was like, I basically work at the Providence airport.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't your phone try to connect to the Wi-Fi?
Well, sometimes my GPS like, you know, when you get to an airport these days, Google pops up a thing and it's like, here's a map of the airport you're in right now.
Yeah. My
phone does that, like, sometimes when I'm just at work. That's, like, how close I am to the airport, yeah.
You're like, thanks, I guess. So I was like, okay, let me look into flights into Providence. And I got a one-way flight into Providence that comes in Tuesday afternoon and leaves Thursday afternoon.
So it's not one way.
That's not
sorry. I'm sorry. Nonstop.
Oh, right.
Is what I meant to say. Nonstop flight. I'm going to have to repeat the segment. Hope you're happy. Nonstop flight that comes into Providence Tuesday afternoon and leaves Thursday afternoon back to my place and drops me off right at my front door. And I got it for $89.
What?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I'm going to fly in, like hang out in Providence until Hannah's off work. We're going to be carpool buddies.
Yep.
And then we're going to go see B. Steadwell. And then I'll be carpool buddies with her on the way to work on Thursday and then just fly home. Isn't that great? Ta-da!
We put our arms up.
So it went from being like logistically a nightmare to like absolutely perfect.
Absolutely perfect. I don't know who that was.
Texture. Good prove.
Yeah. Oh.
So I'm excited. I'm just like I can just like full-fledged enjoy my excitement. I'm like so excited.
Yeah, and we did go ahead and let B know that we're coming, and she did respond to us with some excited emojis.
She's pretty psyched.
Yeah,
so...
she's really excited to see us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's great.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. She's like, I can't wait for my Boston show. I'm going to meet my favorite podcasters.
Yeah, she's
pretty
looking out for you guys. I'll give you
Yeah.
a shout out from the stage. That's pretty much what she said with those 4 emoji that she sent us. Yeah.
The short version of the story is that we waited for Ben to leave Boston and now we're heading there. So
Yeah, exactly.
Can't wait. Very excited.
Yeah, Ben's having a brother with an apartment in Boston would have been so handy for this, actually. But
Ben, what the fuck are you doing?
Sorry.
Say la vie.
I guess we have to wait till B goes to Irvine and then fly there and hang out in Ben and Kylie's luxe apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She does like California.
Yeah.
She lives there quite a lot.
And get some of that sweet, sweet ice I've been hearing about.
Speaking of Gibby Bebo, I did also want to mention that Wonderful Podcast is copying us because
Oh, no.
you know how we put out a podcast and a clip of us talking about how much hornier Great British Bake Off is now?
Yeah.
They totally talked about it right at the top of their show this week. It was one of their
geez.
small wonders, and they were like, "It's really good." They're talking about how good the new season is, and then he was like, "There's so much more sexy jokes," and they were like, "Yeah, it's great."
They're
And I was
freaking
like,
copying us.
"Copy
They're
us."
listening to us
We
and
should
then trying to copy us.
Probably sue them.
Yeah, I agree. I did finish GB Bebo.
Good,
Same.
So that's
great.
good.
It's good, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Was that the one? Was that the episode where they made like the macaron cake, whatever?
Yeah.
And he baked it just wrong, so it fell apart.
He used the wrong meringue, I think, was the big thing. Like
he baked it. He baked it. Everyone else baked it slow and for a long time. He baked it high and fast because that's what he always said he liked it. And ended up being too dry and broke apart.
Yeah.
So you just said slow and for a long time, and then low.
I meant low. I was correcting myself when I said low.
But then, like, there's a great rhyming term for that you danced
slow
around.
And low.
Low and slow.
Listen. Slow and low. Low and slow.
Low and slow. Look, I'm coming from barbecue country. It's low and slow. All right, I know this.
Blow and no.
You really danced around it, though. You're like, how do you say the numbers are low temperature for like a long time?
I know. It was like he was avoiding it intentionally. So we're gonna have to find a way to keep that in because that was ridiculous.
I'm sure you can edit around it with your expertise.
Yeah, maybe I'll just bleep some names. I don't know.
Bleep.
Wait,
use that sound effect to bleep stuff. You going bleep.
I'll try. Okay, I sent you guys some pictures earlier, which I will post on the Twitter of what I have on my feet right now, and I want to talk about it. How do we, Erin? Would you like to describe what I have on my feet right now?
Okay. You have the most fucking pointless fucking things I've ever made. You have on your feet what I avoid with my life, which are, I hesitate to use this word, socks that have little teal, they're gray at the heel and the front of the foot, and they're maroon round the middle with white stripes. Wrapping white stripes, horizontal white stripes that wrap around the foot.
Mm-hmm. And
then teal little grippy dots on the bottom that say "Be Great," and they also say "Be Great" on the top in the teal, in the maroon, like sewn in. Yeah. But the main feature of these socks is that your fucking toes aren't covered. They're toeless socks.
Why?
They're toe socks. They're called half toe socks. And I got them in a subscription box that I just canceled today. Okay.
This is the last straw.
And I actually had already canceled it, but I don't know. I sent the picture to my mom because she does yoga, and I asked her if they're for yoga, and she was like, they might be, but they're so stupid. And
they might be.
They look like those fingerless gloves, but for your toes. But I can't.
Wow,
I mean, I want to be great,
gloves?
so I haven't taken them off.
The color's not great. The fact that they don't
match.
The colors don't match. It's really gross.
It's really gross.
The not covering your toes is not great.
They're really hard to put on too, because
that's not great.
You have to match up your toe socks. I mean, toe socks in general are hard to put on, but these are somehow harder.
These socks are not being great.
I feel like I haven't ever worn toe socks, I don't think, but I feel like even if I did, I would hate it because doesn't it just feel like there's something between your toes all the time?
Yeah.
I hate that. That's the worst feeling. Because when you have socks on, there's stuff between your toes.
I don't mind toe socks except for the fact that they're totally pointless. They don't bother me.
Totally pointless.
Oh, no. See, that pun was not as good as Erin's pun.
It was pretty good.
But that's it. Just I'll post up the pictures of those socks. I am, feeling like I'm being pretty great, but I don't think I'll be buying more.
Did you wear this to work today?
No, they were here when I
Okay.
came home. No.
When I
So you just put them on and you've been wearing
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
when I get a hole in the toe of my sock, we break up.
You throw them out. I
I throw
know.
them away. I don't like continue to wear them until like all the toes go and then be great.
I know they're pre-broken.
Yeah.
They're pre-broken toeless
fair.
socks.
That's very confusing.
Yeah. Agree.
What's next on our extensive upfront list?
Emails.
Emails.
We got an email. We got an email this week, and we got an email I forgot to talk about last week.
Oh boy.
Unbelievable.
I know.
Unacceptable.
I know you're shocked. So, the first one, which I'll address first because we got it more, the opposite of recently.
Less recently?
Less recently.
No, but she said more and she had to commit to that. So how would you say that with more? More
Long ago.
earlier.
Yeah.
More time ago.
More, yeah, urgent. I don't know.
More cookies.
Shoutouts to Rachel sent us a video, which she seems to think is proof that moose exist.
Well,
More
Seems to
unrecently. So let's see.
okay. All right.
I'm gonna open this. Oh, should I send it to you guys? I don't think I did.
Can you
I
pop
can
it forward?
access the email.
I
Oh,
haven't
Are they-
logged into
all right.
it yet.
Aaron, can you forward Ben the email?
Yeah. I have so many comments about this.
Okay. First of all, listen. This is like a
I'm
video.
uploading it to Slack.
This is like a video of Bigfoot. It's tiny.
It's tiny.
It's so small and
It's
grainy.
shot on a flip phone. Like
Listen.
I guarantee it.
I want to first say to shoutouts to Rachel, thank you for reaching out to us. And this is not an attack on you, okay? But we need to think critically about moose because, you just can't trust anybody about just anything, okay?
This is so clearly photoshopped.
She did not give us any context of the origin of this video.
Film this?
Did you film it? Please send us more context so we can figure out whether this is to be believed at all.
I don't believe that this is a horse with antlers on it. Like that's exactly what it is. Somebody put antlers on a horse.
She just sent this tiny video from an iPhone, according to her email. Not the email was from her iPhone. I don't know if the video is from her iPhone. And the subject
It's
line
from a
is
Snapchat,
proof,
it looks like.
and that's the whole deal. It's just
You're part of the conspiracy there. Shoutouts to Rachel.
do they have moose in her part of the country? Is this
Not fooling me.
what does
I
it
don't
say?
think so.
Can you even read what it says on the Snapchat?
No, they don't
No.
have moose in her part of the country because they don't exist.
Right. I can't even read. Why is this so grainy? I can't even read what this
It looks
Snapchat
like
used to
it's
say.
been like compressed and sent multiple times.
This is the most unconvincing proof, quote unquote. This proof has made me believe in moose less than I ever did before.
Shout outs to Rachel. Again, thank you for reaching out, but please explain yourself because I just don't know what to think right now. So that's that one email.
Oh man, this email is very long, this next one.
Yeah, but do you want to maybe just like trade off, take turns reading it?
Sure.
Okay. Erin and I are gonna. Ben, you can just listen.
Planning on it.
All right.
Thanks for
should I start?
permission, though.
Okay. This email is from Molly. Shout outs to Molly. Erin's lovely, wonderful, super smart wife. Broadcasters. Oh my god, what a great name for WayTooBroad podcasters. That's parenthetical in the email, but it is a great point.
That's a great point.
Just wanted to make sure everyone knew that was not my original thought. Here's the kombucha email that you probably knew was coming. I often find myself exclaiming in my car, my kitchen, my podcast listening vicinity when I have the answer to something you are wondering about, and this is especially the case during the kombucha combo. I'm gonna read this a little bit too. Look, I love microbes. They are so good at living and are incredibly mighty despite their itty-bittiness.
Should I take over?
Yeah.
The paragraph. First, how it works. The makeup of SCOBY is actually several species of bacteria and yeast that all do different jobs, but in simple terms, the yeast consume the sugar and make carbonation and alcohol, and the bacteria consume the alcohol and make a few types of acids. There is also a really cool bacteria in there that consumes nitrogen from the tea and produces some acids, as well as building the structure of the SCOBY, which is mostly cellulose. The yeasts in kombucha are especially tolerant of high acid environment, which is not true of yeast in general. There are also a few bacteria species that literally just make slime. What a neat bunch of strange guys that get along so well and hang out and slime together and make us tasty beverages. That's basically what I said.
That sounds like a description of our family.
That's
just
great.
A neat bunch of strange guys that get along so well and hang out and slime together and make tasty
and
beverages.
make alcohol.
Yeah. Hannah, you do not need to worry about touching the SCOBY and ruining your kombucha, although clean hands are always a good idea. Kombucha has a really low risk of growing nasties for a few reasons. First, you've seen that the SCOBY forms a layer that covers the entire top of the tea. This is called the zuglia.
Oh, I like that.
Zuglia, aka living skin / spooky monster, which forms in order to allow the kombucha to engage in both aerobic, exposed to oxygen, fermentation, and anaerobic, not exposed fermentation. As the fermentation process continues, the zuglia grows to cover the entire opening of the vessel, creating an airtight seal for the anaerobic fermentation. This also helps to protect the sugary mixture from nasties. Excuse me. You know, I should have mentioned this at the beginning, but the reason we're getting this email is because we talked about kombucha last week. So if you didn't listen, you may want to go back and listen. Although this is 100% more educational than, well, maybe like 90% more educational.
No, I would say the reason we're getting this email is because I talked very poorly about kombucha last week.
So maybe just listen to this instead.
In my defense, Molly is a science educator, and I didn't even go to college. So that's all I have to say about that.
That was in your defense? Okay, science.
Do you want to keep going?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, second, the SCOBY is already a powerhouse of fermentation and doesn't take long to expand / churn out tangy deliciousness when you plop it into a new batch of sweet tea. In other brews, like beer or cider, there's a much higher risk of contamination when you start a new batch as you wait for your desired yeast to grow up and establish, hope that nobody else takes over. Extreme attention to cleanliness is a lot of what making beer is about.
Third.
Didn't know that.
Yeah,
Me neither.
Me neither.
Third, it is good practice when removing the SCOBY to also remove about 12 ounces of kombucha for it to swim around in and stay happy until you start your next brew. Then, this entire mixture is added into the new sweet tea. The liquid is very acidic at this point and helps to acidify the tea mixture, a condition which is great for the SCOBY microbes and not so great for many of the nasties. I love that she keeps calling them nasties.
Yeah, me too.
Creating a selective environment is seen in other ferments as well, like in adding salt to fermenting pickles, kraut, kimchi, and it is one of the strongest guarantees for avoiding contamination.
By the time you are tasting kombucha or thinking about the secondary fermentation, the mixture is completely taken over by the SCOBY microbes. In addition to living in the slime blob that's floating in there, there are also free-swimming guys settling on the bottom and suspended in the liquid. These guys go into the bottles and end up in your tummy.
In my tummy?
In your tummy, because I've tricked you into drinking kombucha. But they also overwhelm and fight off any nasties that try to show up after this point. The microbes have made the kombucha acidic and slightly alcoholic at this point, which also makes it hard for new guys to grow.
All right, here we go. Now we get to the really confrontational stuff, okay?
Oh, no.
Okay. I also wanted to counter your claim that kombucha cannot be energizing. There are a few reasons that it is actually a great choice for a wake-up. First, it has sugar in it, so energy. Second, the acidic probiotic qualities of drinking kombucha is known to improve digestion, which can be just as impactful as coffee.
Underlined. Molly is a coffee hater, by the way.
Oh, is that true? I didn't know that.
She doesn't, not like philosophically, she just doesn't like the taste.
Right, okay.
And
also,
caffeine makes her anxious.
Which, okay, well then, I don't think she's in a position to tell me that it can be just as impactful.
Yeah, it can't. Caffeine is the drug that does it. But
yeah,
anyway,
it's a drug I'm addicted to.
Just as impactful is like an opinion that you've thrown into the science, like this like bucket of science.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Also, one of the super neat things about consuming ferments is that the microbes sort of pre-digest the food or drink, transforming the components into more easily absorbed versions of what they started as. So your body can more quickly and easily access and use what's in kombucha versus the tea and fruit and whatever else it started as. Isn't that neat? All in caps. Also, you know I'm not talking about any of that mythical weirdness. Science up in here.
Except for the just impactful as coffee bit, because it's like literally caffeine is a drug
right.
that like gives you the energy. Like nothing feels like caffeine. Like
right.
nothing.
It's a drug we're addicted to. I feel like
right.
It's really energizing. It's just as impactful as cocaine.
No. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I have drank just a cup of kombucha on an empty stomach, and let me tell you this: drinking just a cup of coffee is extremely different. Everyone does this, except for those who don't drink coffee.
Right.
Also, I'm back to the email.
Okay.
Also, I wasn't saying that to you. I was saying that to narrate. Also, I found last week's episode description interesting since it talks about, and this part is in a different font size and is bold and highlighted. It talks about Erin waiting for her own kombucha to finish brewing. I remember attributing it to Molly over and over again.
You did.
Yeah, I do too.
That's on me. Don't withhold kombucha from Erin because I wrote that description wrong. That's on me. That's a message straight to Molly.
But that's fine. I guess I will look forward to seeing her brew her own while I'm enjoying the one that I'm brewing. Ow! I don't know why that was so burn. I like praise her. I praise her.
I just I feel like it's yours together because it's in your house and you're married.
All right, well, I'm not doing anything to it. I accept emotional support. Sorry this was long. Lots of micro nerding had to happen. Love you, Fricks. Heart. And you know what's funny is I'm using Gmail and it like prompts you for some like quick replies. Yeah. I'm thinking about clicking the thanks, I'll check it out, and then just hitting send.
I did it.
She's gonna be confused by that for like 4 days until this episode comes out.
Oh yeah, well, because Erin doesn't do spoilers with Molly, right?
I don't do any spoilers with Molly.
So she's gonna be like, "What? Why did I get that email?" And you're gonna be like, "I don't know."
Because we'll check it out.
Wait and see.
What email?
Yeah,
I'm certainly not gonna be like, "Well, why did we get that email?"
No, I do
appreciate the email. It was a really good email.
Yeah.
The couple points of contention, but other than that, really scientific.
Very educational, very interesting.
Just a couple of alternate facts,
yeah.
But other than that, really nice. Thank you so much, my love.
Wonderful, engaging writing style. Has Molly ever thought about like writing a book?
A book! I don't know if she's thought about writing a book.
I think she would be a great author.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Thank you, Molly, for that email. I really appreciate it. I feel much more educated about kombucha besides that thing about energizing. I mean, yeah, sugar gives you energy. Sure. Certainly. I mean,
but also not like caffeine does.
No. But thank you.
But thanks for trying.
Yeah. Oh, man. Okay. Let me think. Okay, do we want to talk about stickers?
I think we should give them out as gifts for reviews.
Oh, okay. So I ordered some stickers with our new logo on them, listeners. They're really, really nice. We have a handful, not many, limited quantities. So, totally. If you leave a review and give us any way to reach you, like email us and let us know that you wrote the review, we will totally mail you a sticker. Absolutely. That's a great idea.
Cool.
Sticker.
Yeah.
It's called the Sticker for a Review program.
Yeah. So should we begin? Should we?
Oh, I have just one more thing. I have a terminology in.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So the other day, I was telling Molly where blanket was, and I was trying to communicate to her that it was in the linen closet. But I was like, "Oh, it's in the towel pantry."
Oh, that's awesome.
That's very good. That's very descriptive.
Yeah. She knew what I was talking about.
All right. Mine is pretty quick because it's like, woo. It's like the latest I've been.
It's like, ooh.
That was quick.
It's like the latest I've been to a popular culture party in a long time. That's not true. Popular culture? No one says that at all.
Popular culture party?
Wow.
Okay, listen.
You're late because it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
What's happening to you?
I don't know. I saw Black Panther this week, and it was
like for
so
the
good.
second time.
No, for the first time.
Oh, Jesus.
I haven't seen it yet either.
Ah!
Guys, Ben, not guys, Ben. You have to see it. It's so good. It's so good. So that's pretty much my entire thing. So I wasn't sure if one of you was gonna be in this boat with me, but I don't really want to do any spoilers or anything. I just want to say that like I had been hearing obviously really great things about it. I had been like thinking that I would like to see it, but I haven't actually had a chance to go to the movies in ages. And so then it turned up on Netflix and I was like, oh, I'll watch that whenever. Ian watched it actually while I was at work the other day. And he was like, I watched a superhero movie and I know you don't usually like them, but this movie is really, really good. And so we watched it the other day and I was just like completely blown away. You know what it reminded me of, Erin? You may relate to this since you've seen it and also listened to Snap Judgment. It reminded me of listening to Snap Judgment.
It reminded you of what?
In the way that it kind of made me feel and the way that it like sort of the pacing and the way that it used music, it reminded me of Snap Judgment.
Interesting. I didn't connect that, but I'm excited to hear it's on Netflix. I'll rewatch it and see if I can snap into that headspace.
It's totally on Netflix. The music
I'll give my judgment.
The music is great overall. Whatever you relate it to, the music's really good. I think that Kendrick Lamar did like the whole soundtrack.
Yeah.
And he did a great job. And it's just very, very good. It's like all like really openly political, but like very well thought out and well presented, like storytelling. It is telling a story that is like very much like a message about like where the United States is right now with as well as like the overall effect of colonialism on the world and all these things. It's like it does not shy away from any of that stuff. But it handles it just like really, really beautifully. And it's also like obviously like super empowering and exciting for the African American community who's not used to seeing themselves represented so heavily in such a huge movie. I love the fact that like more than half of the like incredible fighters in the movie are just like really badass women. Love that. There's just nothing really not to love about it. Michael B. Jordan is so hot, so sexy. I couldn't like. I was just reading a thing on before I came in here about a girl who cracked her retainer in half because she was clenching her jaw so tightly when Michael B. Jordan was on the screen.
Oh my god!
Have you watched The Wire, Hannah?
No.
He's in The Wire as a kid.
As a kid?
Yeah.
That's him!
In season 1, yeah.
Yo,
He's great in The Wire.
Somebody was watching season 1 of The Wire on the plane the other day, like on their iPad on their lap, and I was like watching it. I didn't have the sound or anything, but I was like watching that shit over their shoulder. I was like, hell yeah.
I love The Wire.
Yeah.
Although, true confession, I've never actually finished it.
Like the whole series?
Yeah, I've watched, I
I
think,
haven't
through
either.
like season 4. So I think there's only 5 seasons, but never finished it. It's so fucking good, though.
I haven't seen it. I should watch it. But yeah, everybody in that movie is just like, you know what? In a lot of ways, it made me think a lot of the same thoughts about representation that we talked about when you talked about Crazy Rich Asians, Ben, where it's just like, here's this movie that there are like very few white people even in it. Like they have like a token white guy who's like basically like powerless through the entire thing, even though he's like a federal agent. And
isn't it weird to hear him with an American accent?
He's such a good accent.
I know. I like can't even.
It's Martin Freeman, right?
Yeah.
He's like such a generic white dude with an American accent.
Yeah.
He's like such a distinctive like character.
Yeah.
But then when he has a white, he almost like disappears from my vision when has an American accent. I literally can't see him anymore. I was like, is there a person there?
To be fair, I think that was like pretty much the role.
I know.
Be a generic white person.
Yeah, I know. It's funny.
But it was great. It flipped so many tropes on its head, and it was like such an incredibly good and successful movie without having like, you know, a white cis male at the center of it. You know, it's like not a thing that a movie needs to be successful in 2018. It's just not. And so I'm glad that seems to be finally getting through to the people that are making those decisions.
Yep.
So, just really, 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 really good. I highly recommend that anybody who still hasn't seen it, like me, don't be ashamed. It's on Netflix. No one has to know. You can always say you're rewatching it. Just watch it. I did put out a formal apology on Twitter myself, but you don't have to do that.
Yeah, you don't have to. You can retweet Hannah's and be like, what a jerk. But that could be like your secret, you know? That's fine.
Yeah. We won't tell anybody. We'll know what it means.
I drove in inclement weather to go see it, but in the theater, but you know, it's fine. Check it out on Netflix. Whatever.
No one will judge you.
We were bored. We had just been snowed in for a little while. We were like, we've got to get out of the fucking house. Jesus Christ.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's just great. Oh, Michael B. Jordan. Oh my God. I love his hair. He's got a great face. He has like, he's just like built. He's good.
He's got like little pock marks all over his body.
Yeah.
And
so when he says,
so hot.
So the material that's like super valuable is called vibranium. But when he says it, he goes, vibranium. That's like how he always says it. It's very good. That's all. That's mine.
That's all.
Yeah.
Well, great. Great obsession. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the pop culture party.
Popular culture party.
Popular culture party. That's right.
Let's see. Erin's next.
I'm next. My obsession. Great obsession, Hannah. My obsession is a trip I just took.
Oh.
I know, but I'm just asking.
I just went to Chicago.
Chi-town.
I went to Chicago. Let me tell you why I went. So I've talked about in the past on this podcast that I have been previously involved and currently involved with an organization called Girl Develop It. Girl Develop It. I talked about that in episode 26. Among other things. So that wasn't formally my obsession in episode 26, so I feel comfortable talking about it. So I, within the past couple of months, became a local chapter leader of Girl Develop It. And they, every year, for all the chapter leaders, they do a leadership summit where Girl Develop It headquarters plans this, like, in a really cool city where there's a Girl Develop It chapter. They bring all of the chapter leaders who can make it to the city and like hold workshops and get to know each other, and it's really great. So I just went to my first summit, and we stayed. They fly out, like it's paid for with chapter funds. They fly out to a city and put you up in a nice hotel. You know, it's not like the Ritz, but it was like a great hotel. And we stayed in the middle of downtown Chicago, like 2 blocks from the river, where there's a river walk through the city. I didn't know much about Chicago going into it, but like throughout the city, like in the center of the city, there's a river, and there's a river walk all the way along it, and it's this beautiful. There's like shops along it, and there are like boats in the river. Like you can do boat tours or people kayaking in it. But yeah, I basically spent 4 days with like more than 70 amazing women and non-binary leaders in from all over the country. I met somebody from like basically every state.
Nice.
And everyone was like so nice and so friendly. And the summit was really great. The theme this year was intersectional feminism. So we like learned all about that. We learned about how we could make our communities more inclusive, how we can reach more people, underrepresented. I keep saying that. Underrepresented. Am I saying this right? I'm psyching myself out.
Underrepresented.
Underrepresented.
Yeah.
People in technology, and it was just really great. And so I stayed. Another cool thing that I liked about it a lot was it wasn't like we stayed in a hotel and then had our conference in the hotel. We had our conference at like each event was at a different spot in downtown Chicago.
Yeah.
And so I got to like
cool.
walk to a different place every day. And
Oh,
so
I
I
like
would
that.
like, yeah, it was really neat. So it was like at the Grubhub headquarters one night for the welcoming dinner, and then at a different place, and then a different place, and a different place. So I got to.
There's just really 2 options: Grubhub headquarters or not Grubhub headquarters.
You know, it's funny. I'm gonna tease her a little bit here, but I was telling Molly, I was like, "Ooh, like I'm gonna be at the Grubhub headquarters on Thursday night." She was like, "Grubhub, where are they based?" And I was like, "Chicago." I don't think she said base. I think she said, "Where are they?" I was like, "Well, they're in Chicago. That's where I'm headed." So it was great. It was really like I just enjoyed my trip so much. The weather was so beautiful. Like at home, we were having a hurricane, and in Chicago, it was like 70s, breezy. Like I walked and walked and walked and walked, and like I sweated. I produced sweat, but
Perspirated.
I perspirated. But there was like a breeze.
Or perspired?
I perspired.
I expired.
This is my ghost. But there was breeze, There was breeze. And breeze cooled me.
That's great. The sweat did its job.
Breeze blow make
it
me less hot.
Erin sweat. Breeze blow. Erin cool. So it was like I was walking around, but I didn't have like sweat pouring down my face.
Was that a haiku? Not quite.
I could actually kind of like hold on.
Here we go.
Erin sweat and breeze blow.
Yeah.
Walking through.
Erin is 2 syllables. So
Erin
sweat breeze blow.
breeze blow.
Yeah.
Walking through streets
Of
Chicago.
Yep.
Walking through streets Chicago. A river runs through it.
There.
A
river runs there.
No, a river runs through it. That's the thing. Through it. River runs through it.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so it was just absolutely gorgeous. I just really enjoyed it. I went there by myself, so I was supposed to go with my friend who's a chapter leader, but the hurricane was really uncertain here, and she had to stay with her family, which was totally a good decision. So I was really nervous about going out there on my own to a city that I'd been before. I'd been there before technically, but not really. And you know, to spend like 4 days worrying about like, you know, what if these people aren't friendly.
Mm-hmm.
But they were all so great. I feel like I have a friend in every state now. Like all of the people I met were just absolutely amazing and really friendly and really warm. And I'm not often like comfortable just like walking around by myself, just like not because of my safety, but just like spending time alone like that. But I like walked around and listened to my audiobook and it was awesome. It was like so comfortable. And yeah, I just had a really great time. And also, the last thing I wanted to mention about that, oh my gosh, I know we're running long, but I do have a really funny anecdote I wanted to share about it. But another awesome thing was I got to hang out with Shoutouts to Rachel.
Yay!
She, like, a big Shoutouts to Rachel. She drove all the way into Chicago from where she lives. I don't know where she lives, but she drove in to see me. She kind of hauled out to see me, and then we didn't end up getting like too much time together, but she also took me to the airport, which was so nice. But we had a really nice time together. I really enjoyed that. One just wacky thing, one little wacky anecdote from my trip was that on Saturday night, which was kind of like our free night, we didn't have anything planned as a group. Some of us went on a bar crawl, which was a lot of fun. And we were at one of our stops, we were at a champagne bar, and it was kind of nice in there. I wasn't very dressed up. I was just kind of wearing a polo shirt, and I came back from the bathroom, and there was this like there's this black lady who was maybe like 40 or 50 who had like come over to our group while I was in the bathroom, and she was talking to the people I was with, like, in a really excited way. You know how it is when you're, like, a little drinky and suddenly, like, it's easy to, like, just come over and befriend strangers or whatever. It was, like, a really nice, they were having a nice interaction, I could tell, and I sit down and, you know, I kind of look over at the woman, and she looks at me, and she goes, "I love your glasses." I was like, "Oh, thank you." And she was like, "They really just fit your face so perfectly." And I was like, "Thank you." And then she kind of, like, looks at me again. She's like, "I want to have sex with you." And I was like, "With me?" She was like, "Yes, I want to have sex with you." She's like, "I want to take you in that bathroom and do things to you." I was like, "Thank you so much." Like, it was really flattering. She was like, "I'm having trouble." Like, that walks a line between, like, creepy, right? Like, but it was, like, totally, like, non-threatening. It was, like, this perfect, like, ego-boosting, non-threatening, like, if I could, like, it would take me too long to describe all the layers of, like, how, you know, I'm in the middle of this gaggle of women who are, like, dressed up, all fancy and femme, and I'm just, like, you know, this, like, butch lesbian in a polo shirt,
Hannah
you know,
Gadsby costume.
Just doing my thing. Yeah, it kind of looked like Hannah Gadsby. And then this, like, really, like, this, like, beautiful, like, confident, like, woman who's just like joined our group and like kind of charmed all these people I'm with, like, says that to me. I don't know, it was just like, it was just really lovely, and I didn't feel like she was gonna like do anything inappropriate. Like, I felt like it was like that was the interaction, and then it was over, and that was that. Like, she wasn't actually gonna try to get me to go in the bathroom with her, like, no. But, you know, I kind of scratched my face with my ring finger, like, "Oh, thank you." Wedding ring. But anyway, it was like, "Oh, Chicago, you're all right."
That's wonderful. I like that. I actually like I totally get that experience of, like, you're out with people who, like, you feel like are the people who would get the attention wherever you are, and then when someone gives you that level of attention instead, it's like, it's kind of like, it's like shocking, but it's also like such a boost. Yeah. I totally get that. I was like out playing pool with this friend of mine one time. It was, long story, there was not really anything else to do in this town that we were in for the summer. And she had like triple D boobs, like huge boobs, and she was this little thing, and she was just like a firecracker. Like, she just was like, loved attention, and I gravitate to people like that because I know that they'll take attention away from me, and I kind of prefer that a lot of the time, you know. But like, or that is at least that was my MO when I was younger, at least. And this guy was coming over, and like, he was like talking with us, and like kind of like flirting with us and stuff, and I was like not even really paying him any attention because I was like certain that if he was flirting with either of us, it was her. And then I like walked away, and when I came back, she was like, he just asked me if you're married. He like had seen my class ring on my hand, and he had like, it was not on the right finger, but it was on the right hand, and he wasn't sure, and he was like trying to like get the 411 on me from her to figure out if I was like available. I was like, oh my god, that's like, I mean, he wasn't like my type, like nothing went on, but it was just like
right,
you know, it's just like a boost.
Yeah, you're just like, okay. And it's also like, you know, I don't know, I don't mean to like presume anything about the other women I was with. Like, I don't know what their, you know, kind of preferences are, like what experiences they've had. But also sometimes I feel like in those scenarios, I'm like, I like to imagine like my kind of thing is a mystery, you know? It's like, why would you look like that? Who are you trying to, to get with that look or whatever? But then it's like, well, yeah, like some people are into this, you know. It's like, you know, well, works for some people. Yeah. But anyway,
that's great. That you know, I'm glad you had a good trip.
Yeah,
Chicago's
nice.
not too bad. Good people there.
Yeah, it was pretty chill.
Horny people,
pretty chill.
We saw Hamilton there. That was great.
Yeah, that was great.
And that food at that restaurant we went to was also really good.
It was cold.
I don't remember what it was called.
It was like a basement situation.
Shoutouts to that restaurant in a basement. What? Your food was good. Ben.
It wasn't cold. Wait.
It was cold. It was so cold.
It was the summer. Oh, you mean in the restaurant?
Yes. In the restaurant.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Chicago when we were there. I was like, it was July.
We were like using the direct context. Like, I don't understand. Yeah, the food was good. It was cold, though.
Oh, I see. I get it now.
That's right.
Great obsession, Erin.
Thanks.
Ben, it's your turn.
Mine is Pokemon related.
Oh.
So sometimes Twitch.tv, the website, does these like marathon things where they like play an old show 24/7. Like just continually play.
No.
Nope.
You mean
nope,
show.
I mean show. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you though.
Okay, you're welcome.
Like they did it with Yu-Gi-Oh! A while ago. And right now they're doing it with the second generation Pokemon episodes. And the other day, I forget why, but I just like turned it on because I was like, why not? Nostalgia, you know?
Yeah.
And I noticed on like the chat on the side, it's like, hey, you want to watch it in any of these other languages? We have all of these too. And I was like, I'm going to watch it in French. Why not?
Oh.
Just so I like turned it on in French, and it was really cool because it's a show for kids. So like they were speaking at a low enough level and kind of slowly enough that I was able to understand a lot more of it than I thought.
Wow.
And also like the chat, like in the English stream, there's like usually around 10,000 people watching, so the chat's just like a typical hive mind Twitch chat thing where they're all spamming a bunch of bullshit. But like in the French chat, there are only like 300 people, and they're like all talking to each other, and I was like asking questions about some of the things I wasn't quite understanding, and they were like all being super nice and helpful and like helping me learn some French, and I learned to like, it was just cool. And I also found out that a lot of French names for Pokemon are a lot cooler than English. Like
example.
Yeah, I have an example. So the Charmander evolutionary line, Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard in English.
Yeah.
The Char is the fire, and then obviously it's like Salamander, Chameleon, and Lizard.
Yeah, I totally knew that the whole time.
Yeah. We all knew that.
So
yeah, we all put that together like when we were kids. Totally not right at this very moment.
So in French, it's a lot cooler because like the Charmander is Salamesh, and Sala is short for from salamander, and mesh means wick, like a wick of a candle, and then Charmeleon is Reptincell. Rept for reptile. Incel is, I think it's short for like 18 cell, which means spark. So you have like wick, then spark, And then Charizard, this is the coolest fucking name ever. It's Dracofeu,
Oh.
which literally means like dragon fire. So you go Salamander Wick, Reptile Spark, Dragon Fire. It like actually follows the evolution of the Pokemon a lot better.
Oh,
That's
Which I thought
cool.
was cool.
That is cool.
that's cool.
Also, wheezing is called Smogogo in English or in French, which I like a lot. Smogogo.
Smogogo. Smogogo.
Hitmontop, which is a fighting type Pokemon that like spins on its head, is called Capoeira, which is that Brazilian martial art.
How do they say it in French? Because in Portuguese it's like capoeira.
Capoeira. They say they kind of say like in English,
Capoeira.
like capoeira. Yeah,
Capoeira.
but with the French accent.
Capoeira.
And one I think is funny is Hitmonlee is called Kickly in French. Because like they don't have the word kick. So it's just Kickly.
Quickly.
Yeah.
That's funny. When you're talking in the chat, are you speaking in French in the chat, or are you asking
Yeah.
in English?
I ask mostly in French. If there's stuff I can't word, I ask if anyone speaks English, and then I ask in English. But I try to talk French.
Hannah just flashed her Ella Enchanted book. She has on hand at all times.
I wasn't looking. I was looking at French Pokemon names. Oh, this is another evolutionary line I really like. Although I like in English too. Dratini, then Dragonair, and Dragonite. In French, Dratini
Which
is
is
Mini
obviously
Draco.
the first one is short for Martini, and then
Martini Dragon. Yeah. The next one is Air Dragon. The
Yeah.
other one is Dragon.
Dragonite.
I don't know.
Dragonite?
Dragonite.
Dragon and
Bite.
Mennonite.
Evening.
Mennonite.
Religious dragon.
Martini Air Mennonite. In French, Dratini is Mini Draco, Dragonair is Draco, and then Dragonite is Dracolos, which is like
Oh.
a mix of Coloss as in huge, like colossal, and
Oh.
dragon.
That
which
was
I
a
don't know, I really
curveball
like
because I thought it was going to be Mega Draco.
that. Oh, and Chikorita. This is actually a really weird fact, but Chikorita in French is called Germignon, which mignon means cute, and germ means like a small plant, like a plant that's germinating.
Ah.
And so it's like
Germignon.
cute little plant kind of. But in the French show, it still says chica when it talks, like chica chica, like it does in English.
Oh.
Like it's the same voice and everything.
Is that
A lot of the
because-
others are what?
Is that because it would be weird if it was like Jeremy?
Filet mignon. Filet mignon.
Jeremy.
I don't
mignon.
think so. I don't know why. It was weird though.
That is weird.
How do you say gotta catch 'em all in French?
Good question.
I know that the this is actually something I'm gonna ask the French chat after we record probably, because the like opening song, I think instead I think it's an entirely different song in French. I don't think it's just like a translated version.
The very
But what they
best
say is "ne pour être vainqueur," which pour
To
être
be-
vainqueur means like to be a conqueror, like to be the best. Like,
yeah.
but I don't know why there's a "ne" there. That's what confuses me about it.
Like new?
Like
Like we?
no, like "ne," N-E, as in like the beginning of a negation.
Ne-
Ne pour être vainqueur.
To not be the best?
No, but that's what I'm. There's gotta
Do
be
we
like.
not want to be the best?
France?
I think there's like a slang that I'm not understanding there,
Mm.
where there's like, because you can use "ne" to indicate other things than negation. Like if you say "ne que" around the verb, it means only, or like "ne jamais" it means never. So I wonder if there's something like kind of understood there that I'm not getting. You know?
Probably.
Oh,
You're
vainqueur
pretty
means
dumb.
winner. What?
So probably.
Say
'cause-
say it again. Say it in my face.
I didn't say anything, sir. Like, I'm afraid you're gonna hurt me from California.
I can't do shit,
Can't do shit. You can only hurt me
I'm a
emotionally
bitch.
from California.
and I will.
Oh.
Cool.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Psyduck. Wait, I want to talk about Psyduck too.
No.
Its name.
Yeah.
Because I really like it. I also really like how it's spelled.
Okay.
Its
I
name
can't
is...
remember what duck is in French.
Canard.
It doesn't use it. It's a canard.
Canard. See, I know it started with a C.
It's Seco Quack.
Seco Quack.
Seco Quack.
Seco
Isn't
Quack.
that fucking awesome? And it's spelled Psykokwak.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that awesome? I just really like that. Oh my god, and Golduck is Aqua Quack. It's spelled
What does quack mean?
AKWAKWAK.
Whoa, can you say that again?
AKWAKWAK.
Wow.
Aqua Quack.
Those are very good.
Aqua Quack.
Yeah, they're just good. Everyone should watch it in French.
Can you watch it
Although-
in French with subtitles?
No.
Wait, okay, actually, can we talk about alternate ways to watch things just for a moment? Because Ian and I, we've been watching this show on Netflix, called Explained. It comes out weekly, and the latest one, for some reason, that came out today, you can only watch it in Spanish or, in, English with, image descriptions, like for people who are sight impaired.
Oh.
It doesn't do a great job of them compared to the next thing we watched, because we were like, oh, I wonder. So basically, like, anytime that there's not talking, it will like explain to you what's on the screen. But then there are like a lot of things that it just didn't describe because there was talking happening, because it's like entirely narrated. But then we watched the beginning of Black Panther again in preparation for this episode, and we decided to keep the like image descriptions on. And it was like basically like what Ian compared it to was like listening to a fully like an audiobook with a full cast, but then also there are visuals to go along with it, you know, for us. But like it was like, you know, it would describe everything that was happening and everything that you were seeing and give any context that you would need for what was happening.
Oh.
It actually was kind of perfect for someone like me who spends so much time staring at my phone while we're watching TV.
I didn't know that was an option.
Yeah, it is now. I don't think it has been for very
Is it an
long.
option on everything?
I don't know. No, certainly. I'm sure not. But like, I think that as the newer stuff that comes out and the higher budget stuff will be likely to have it.
Wow.
That's cool.
It is cool. I was enjoying it because also there were some things that I didn't fully understand until like I have a really hard time following action scenes and stuff like that, like fight scenes and like car chases and stuff. But this one, like, it'll give you like some hints because it, you know, if you couldn't see it, you would need these types of hints. Like, what was that?
That was me staring at Black Panther. What option is it? Is it English audio D? English audio D?
Audio
Probably,
D. Yeah, audio descriptions. Yeah. It's but like, you know, there was this one scene that had like a bunch of cars chasing a bunch of other cars, and there was like, you know, the target that they wanted was in one of the cars, and I absolutely could not keep track of which car he was in for the life of me. But this narration actually helped me with that because it would say the car with blah blah in it, you know, goes this way and stuff. So it's like, oh, great.
So when it's not talking, it like gives you, it like talks
In a different voice, yeah. Like in a specialized voice.
Have I told you that I watch like everything with subtitles?
I do too.
My parents do too.
I don't know why I do, actually.
I like
but
it.
I like it.
Yeah. Because we
It's
like
because
it.
you guys are already like preparing for retirement mentally. That's why. You're like, well, when the hearing goes, then I'll already be all set.
I'll be used to it.
There was a time when I found them really distracting, but I really like having them now.
So if you have the audio description and the closed captioning on,
Yeah.
will it do both?
Yeah, totally.
Wow.
That's how we were watching it. Okay, so are you just gonna watch it?
Yeah.
Erin's got her face up to her phone right now. Her phone up to her face. Opposite.
Guys, I'm in the middle of something if you don't mind.
Well, that's cool then. I think there's a general message here for the people that it can be really fun and illuminating to explore alternate ways of enjoying your favorite media.
You know, this is something I think about
Yes.
every now and again, just like being a web developer with web accessibility. And that's becoming more and more of a thing, to make your web pages something that everyone can enjoy, no matter what their ableness is.
Yeah.
Abled or differently abled.
Right. Yeah, I'm even seeing it more like in Facebook groups. Like they'll post rules of how to deal with pictures and stuff. You know, because you can't add image descriptions like I now know that you can for websites. So they'll
you can add them on Twitter.
Yeah, you can add them on Twitter but you can't.
Your mom can.
The fuck, Erin? Well, she could. She's on Twitter.
She's too busy. She's too busy tweeting at the president all day. And she replies to everything he tweets. But, you know, everyone has their own way of resisting, and I respect it.
That's all I meant, was that she's an avid Twitter user.
She is. But she's a one-track Twitter user. But with Facebook, I guess when you're posting pictures in certain ways, it's not the easiest thing. So that now a lot of groups are giving like guidelines on how to deal with that and give good image descriptions and stuff, which I think is really cool.
I feel like
really cool.
If I saw mom's account and I didn't know it was my mom, I would believe that it was a bot. Because all she does is respond to the president and like insult him.
Yeah. I know. She's really
that was the only other thing about Chicago, though. Right where I was staying was like right by the Trump Tower, so it was like I couldn't not look at it.
Oh, that sucks.
Did
it sucked.
Throw shit at it?
Well, I was with somebody who was like, "I'm gonna go over and kick it," and I was like, "Don't kick it. You're gonna break your foot, and it won't know any better." It looks like a dick. I mean, it's like
so they're all very phallic. Yeah,
they're so phallic. It's like a jaggedy old dick.
Yep.
You can quote me on that.
I will.
And I will. Yeah.
Cool. Should we do homework?
Yeah.
Great obsession.
Please.
Great obsessions all around.
Yeah, good ones this week, everybody.
Great job, everyone, and myself. Great
normally
job.
they suck.
Huh?
What?
I said normally they suck, but they were great this week.
Normally, y'all are boring.
Oh, me. Okay, so my homework.
Welcome to you now.
Welcome to me now. My homework for our listeners is if you haven't seen Black Panther, don't be ashamed. Just watch it. It's on Netflix. If you go to my Twitter, which is @Hanthropology, and you retweet my formal apology and you write "what a jerk," we'll know, those who listen to this, that you're one of my kind who hadn't seen it yet and will not blow up your spot on that. So if you want to do that and just like silently join the like apology group, but not be embarrassed yourself, you can do that. And listen to more indie podcasts, and speaking of listening to more indie podcasts, listen to my other podcast, So Dreamy, which is where we listen to dreams and talk about them. And it's fun. It's a fun time. It's a chill, fun time. It's a good podcast to fall asleep to, in a non-insulting way. I'm not insulted when people tell me that because it's very soothing. And then also, if you're a person speaking of other languages who wants to learn about idioms and stuff, apparently it's good for that too, because there's some people in China who listen to it for that.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Really?
Cool? Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is really cool. So you guys know our cousin Jessie just moved back to China because her husband is from China, and she's got a job as a teacher over there. So she listens to So Dreamy like out loud while she's nursing her firstborn daughter.
Her firstborn daughter.
Her first child. What do you want me to say?
That's just a weird way to say
it.
Right now, it's just her daughter.
It's her daughter.
Like,
She only has
kind
one.
of funny.
Her daughter.
You know.
Her daughter. Because it helps. It's nice for Jessie. It's also nice for her daughter because since she's growing up around so many people speaking Chinese, it helps her to like become and stay bilingual. And as a bonus, she gets to hear like voices of her family.
Her family, little Juliana.
Yeah, Juliana. And then also, apparently, Jesse's been recommending it to some of her Chinese coworkers who want to get better at English. So,
and apparently,
cool.
I was just FaceTiming with Jesse and shoutouts to Rachel when I was in Chicago, and once they are kind of better at listening to the idioms, we're next. We're like the next level up. WayTooBroad is. So it's like, So Dreamy is great because you guys kind of talk in a soothing voice and you're like kind of low, mellow, and we're like the next level of like English mastery. So
because we yell so much. Well, because humor, I think, is really hard to sort of get and translate across cultures and languages.
Yeah.
So I get that.
But Jessie wasn't like, hey guys, listen to these idioms. She actually said, listen to these idiots. So you're close.
Lost in translation.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I don't know. I don't acknowledge what you just said. It sounded like you said the same thing to me.
That's a new tactic. It's like when Martin Freeman speaks in an American accent. I'm like, I don't know if you exist or not.
Yeah. It's like that. It's like instead of yes and, it's like no, that didn't happen.
It's like no.
Yeah. So.
It's like no period.
No period. Yeah, exactly.
No.
Who's
It's like no turnaround.
No, turn back. No. It's a good joke. I was just, saving my pride. Erin, what's your homework for people?
All right. Hey. My homework is to go to Chicago, walk around, have a good time on the town, go to the Riverwalk, have a Chicago dog. Holy shit, I had a really amazing Chicago dog on the river. Put in a podcast or an audiobook. Walk around. Get told that you want to be having sex with somebody at a bar. If you haven't yet, if you're interested if you're a person who has an identity that's underrepresented in tech, check out Girl Develop It. We have chapters all over the country. Our mission is that people of all types become in tech. So, great organization. Take a class. Code a coffee. Something.
Yeah.
That's all. Oh, my Twitter's @ErinByrne. I review lesbian movies at LesbianMovieReviews on Instagram. And if any of my fellow chapter leaders are listening to this, freaking shout out. I enjoyed meeting you so much. Thanks for being awesome.
Thanks for making Erin feel like she was not lonely, even though she came there alone. Shout outs to you guys.
That's right.
Well said.
Thanks. I know. Ben.
Hi, I'm Ben. This is my homework. My homework is to go to twitch.tv/twitchpresents to watch the Johto League Pokemon anime. And if you want to watch it in French or another language, I didn't actually pay attention to the other ones. I'm sure they have Spanish, but there were like 6 or 7 I saw. So I think they have a lot of them. When you open like the chat on the side, it should show up and say, do you want to watch a different language? So do that to enjoy your childhood shows in a new way. It's fun. My Twitter is at nicelyprovedben. Post pictures of Como there. He's very cute. Boy.
Yep.
That's it.
Bye. Here's what else. You can call us. If you have
Here's what else you need to know.
If you have a comment about... Oh, yeah, that's from the Daily, right?
Yeah.
You should do it that way. Here's what else you need to know.
Oh my god, wait. The Daily... Oh, I sorry. I need to say this too.
At fart.
Quick shout out to the Daily from last Thursday and Friday. It was a 2-parter. Really, really good. Really heartbreaking, but really good.
Okay. I'll have to go back and listen to that, because I didn't. Okay. If you want to call us and tell us why I should have seen Black Panther sooner, I don't know. We have a phone number. You can leave us a voicemail. I will not pick up the phone. It probably won't ring or won't ring very many times. Do not fear. You can call us, leave us a message, and we'll play it and talk about it on the show. And it's 774-326-0420. Blaze it. That'll be
Blaze it.
Also in the description if you need it again. You can email us at waytoobroad@gmail.com. Shoutouts to Rachel and Molly for doing that this week. You can find links to all the things that we just talked about, all of our contact information, as well as our Ko-Fi if you want to give us a little tip for making you do some giggles, at waytoobroad.com. And you can rate and review and subscribe us on iTunes and on Podknife.
What's gonna happen if
Oh gosh,
they give us a review?
That's not all. If you leave us a review on iTunes and you email us and with like a screenshot of the review or just tell us that you did it, we'll believe you and send us your address. We will mail you a Way Too Broad sticker for you to do whatever you want with.
I'm just gonna go ahead and get ahead of something that I know is gonna come up.
Okay.
People are gonna come out of the woodwork and be like, well, I left you a review earlier, can I get a sticker? And here's what I'll say to you. No, we didn't have stickers at that time. If we had, we would have given you one. But you know what? You probably haven't left us a review on both sites. So if you've left us a review on iTunes, leave us a review on Podknife, and then we'll give you a fucking sticker. Okay?
Yeah.
That's what I have to say to you.
I agree.
Get your shit together, also.
What, Ben?
What?
I said get your shit together, also.
Yeah.
That too.
And review us on both places.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah, it shouldn't take a sticker, but you know what? Now we're getting a little hateful at our... Thank you for your review.
Thank you for your review, and you're welcome for your sticker.
Yeah.
And they're really beautiful stickers. They're nice and big, and they're very durable. So
it's that's everything I'm looking for in a sticker. Big and durable. You know, if I have two complaints about stickers, they're often not big enough, they're often not durable enough. I'm glad to hear that you've gone ahead and gotten a big durable sticker.
They're 3 inches by 3 inches. They're not like tremendous. Okay, they're 3 inches by 3 inches.
That's pretty big for a sticker, though.
And they're vinyl.
Is it durable?
They're really
How durable?
Okay. They're
Good night.
Exactly as durable as you need. Okay. The podcast the podcast candle is now extinguished. We love you.
It's over.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. It's over. Stop.
Kids, don't play with too many knives.